Hello, everyone. Welcome to another Eden Chief Delegate meeting. It is our number 23, so 23rd meeting, and it is March 24th. So we've only got, this will be our third last meeting, 2 more to go until the next election, April 9th. Sign up if you haven't yet. You got to go to the genesis.eden. Wait, what's the website? Genesis.eden.eoscommunity.org is the site where you should sign up if you're an Eden member. And if you're not an Eden member, join the Telegram channel, which I'm not going to attempt to give the URL to, but join that one. Hopefully you can bring somebody to join it and then get an
URL in the description of the video.
Yeah.
Okay, sweet. It'll be in the description of the video. Thank you, Jesse. So yeah, and so we'll kick it off with some updates. Jesse, why don't you go first?
Hey, everyone. Hope everyone had a good week. The bees are preparing for Pomelo. We are taking orders for translation. So if you'd like your Pomelo pitch translated in Chinese, Korean, maybe Spanish, Turkish, Vietnamese, we have 11 languages to choose from. Hit me up on Discord or on Telegram. And so we're just kind of taking those orders. We have plenty of translations for ourselves. The EOS bees, we have 3 Pomelo grants that we're trying to do. Our main EOS bees one. We have a grant with EOS support for referral and onboarding system. And I have a 3rd grant for controlling the Twitter and YouTube for the future Eden Chief delegates. If you've been following our calls, you know that it was very difficult to get managerial control of these accounts. And I was able to get some control, and Lovejoy has it too. And so just to make it easier for the future chief delegates, I'm offering my services to upload their videos and to tweet stuff that they want to tweet out. And so just all Pomelo this week. And I hope everyone has great luck in the Pomelo season 2.
Awesome. Thank you. Let's pass it to Lovejoy. You're on mute.
I hate it when that happens. How did I get muted? Hi, everybody. Been another amazing week. Let's see here. I made my contribution as promised to the Eden China delegation that just got going. Chris, I'll send you the details that Gracie sent me, so you can do the same. That was 300 EOS. And then made an additional 900 EOS contribution for translation that the bees have done for the fractally paper, such as it is. And so glad to see the money getting put to use by a good team. I'm glad we've got such a fine group of translators, bees.
Thank you, Lovejoy. Thank you very much.
Yeah. And let's see here. Working on some fun surprise for the Eden community to be revealed later. Not what we previously discussed, something else. And that'll be fun. Other than that, just heads down, writing and working on ENF stuff. So that's about it for me.
Okay, awesome. I'll pass it to Aaron next.
Same kind of as last week. We are still in review, and now we have developers kind of upgrading all 3 versions of Anchor to support this new creation protocol. I think some of our packages are published on NPM, but we haven't open sourced the code or really talked or announced those. If you were clever enough, you may have found them on NPM, but I doubt anybody's looking. So a lot of our effort over the last week has gone into network issues on EOS, which has pulled some of our people, some of our small team over to focus on that. So it's been a bit of a distraction trying to make sure that the network's working properly as well. So that's primarily what's been going on, besides the regular stuff, I guess. Blue papers, EOSIO plus group, things like that. which we don't have to necessarily get into. So
Awesome. Okay. Randall.
Hey, hello guys. So for your support, we've been, chucking along, doing what we do, supporting the community. Also building our platform so that at least hopefully we're ready in a couple of weeks, I'm hoping. We have also been looking to see what's going on with the network as well, so that we can better help the end users. We are also collaborating with EOS Nation, with Mandel. We're just collecting like contacts from the EOS customers, so that in the future, once we have Mandel 3.1 ready, we can easily reach our customers and have everyone update or upgrade their nodes. So pretty much that's what we've been doing. So that's about it. You're muted, Chris.
Oh, thank you. John, you're next.
Just Fractally work. That's pretty much it.
All right, then I'll take it away. I have not much updates either, other than we've been spending a bit of time on the bylaws. So we're going to get into that next as a group, but we did have a meeting earlier in the week. A couple of us made it to just kind of smooth those along. So hopefully today, this will be the last discussion on bylaws, and we'll all vote sufficiently to have them finalized and then create a final draft. So there's that. I've started working on a little sort of summary write-up on BPs in EOS. So interesting find. Interesting finds, at least, going through it. So I'll have that ready hopefully next week. I'm lucky, definitely before the next election. And the myvoteeos.com thing is going to be coming out a little more aggressively next week. So that'll be hopefully more visible in people's eyes. And yeah, that's about it in a nutshell, I guess. So from there, we can kick it off into the bylaw discussion. So let me get that up on my screen. And where is it? Eden bylaws. All right. Can you guys see that?
Yeah.
Okay, great. So to those who haven't seen this yet, basically what this is, it was a Miro that started. I've got the original peace tree in blue this is all the original points. Then there was a version that it was on Notion that basically was Dan's suggested changes to the peace treaty. So those are in green. And then we're now working on sort of a compilation of all of those plus our own changes. So when you see this and you're looking at this, the blue came from the original, the green came from Dan's suggested, purple is us. But now there's changes throughout. There's some questions from me over here in green Post-its, and then the follow-out from our call on March 22nd are these vanilla Post-its. So I guess I'll just read through it, and this will be kind of like a final run through. We can answer any last questions and then hopefully settle on this. So the mission statement that we've agreed upon is to create value for the EOS ecosystem. Look, that might be good enough. I was thinking maybe we could make it more, I mean, it's pretty basic, but maybe basic is great. And we just leave it as is and call it a day. What do you guys think? Just leave it, call it good enough? Or do we want to try some 6-person wordsmithing, which is sometimes difficult?
I'd say unless anyone has any inspiration, maybe we just leave it for the next group of people to decide it needs to be optimized in some other way. I'm happy enough with it. It's not, it doesn't excite. I know what you mean. It's not like exciting. It's like, okay, but
yeah,
good foundation.
It's a start.
it'll do. Yeah.
To manifest abundant value.
Yeah. There's nothing, right. There's nothing objectionable about it. That's the main thing. Like, I think we can all agree on it. when we start adding things, then
Yeah.
different members of us kind of like drop out. So
Okay.
anyway,
So no objections. I'll just move forward. All right. The next one, no reason to change this. This is the original. Independent Eden cannot exceed 10,000 members. There is zero concern of that happening anytime soon. So I think we just leave that as is. Okay, moving on. Next is part of the election process. So the bolded bits have been changed from what was Dan's suggested changes, which were really almost the same. It was just a couple tweaks on numbering. Leaders shall be elected by the following process. Members are randomly organized into roughly equal size groups of 12 or fewer. One question I had that I don't think we've confirmed is, does the code even allow up to 12? There's no reason to change this, but I just feel like it's not accurate, or probably not worth worrying about right now.
Chris, we want to change leaders to delegates, or what do you think?
Yeah, it's funny. Yeah, after I read that, I was like, leaders, is that the right word? Yeah.
yeah, I heard you catch that.
Delegates, right?
Fair enough. Yeah, because it's either a delegate, the chief delegate, or head chief delegate if we're using the same naming structure.
I'll just keep any changes bolded for now so we're aware. And then for the final, obviously, we'll use one font. Yeah, good call. I agree with that. That makes sense. Anyone else disagree? Just shout out if you disagree. I won't ask. Okay, great. So roughly equal size groups of 12 or fewer, where the total number of groups equals the population divided by average group size. I believe that's essentially in the contract, so no reason to change it. B, each group must select a representative from their group with a greater than 2/3 approval of votes cast, and the selected representative must vote for themselves. That seems good. What this doesn't cover, and I don't think we really want to get into it, is how the smart contract is now, if someone isn't present in their room, their vote gets automatically ported over to the majority. I don't think we want to, I don't know what you guys think. I don't personally want to try articulating that clearly to make it a bylaw.
You could leave a note just so we leave that, like make a note about that, and then we'll leave it for future.
Note.
Well, there, or like as a sticky or whatever you want to do.
The bylaws is gonna need like a Talmud, you know, like you know
Like
what a Talmud is? Like when you have like the Torah, and the Torah has a Talmud that explains the.
Oh. yeah, the annotated bylaws.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, maybe just a sticky, Chris, though, that says like, you know.
Are we gonna have the final version though? Will just be a simple doc. Like I'm gonna print a PDF essentially. That will be a singular document, right? That they can approve. So
it'll just be the text, not the notes.
Yeah, I don't know. I say we just leave it. If they want to try to articulate, we'd have to probably look at the smart contract and see exactly what it's doing in order.
Yeah. All right, fine enough, good enough. The record is this call that we've made note of it. So
there you go. Okay. Let's see. The process shall then repeat fractally by randomly grouping the representatives approved in the previous round of elections until a single lead representative is chosen. So
until a delegate is chosen, a single lead representative. I think that's too wordy.
Yeah, it is.
It could say until a head chief delegate is chosen.
Yeah, we should use.
We
should use that language. Head chief delegate.
It says it in D, the final representative, also known as head chief delegate.
So how about
until I have chief delegate? Yeah.
You can almost take that part out of D. You can just add it to C and head chief delegate.
Until the final representative, also known as the head chief delegate, is chosen.
Yeah,
and then here we say the head
chief
delegate will be selected randomly from the final group of elected representatives.
Comma after head chief delegate and C. Yeah.
Here.
Yep.
Also known as the head chief delegate is chosen. Very good. Yep.
Yeah.
The head chief delegate will be selected randomly from the final group of elected delegates. Should capitalize. And then really, this should be EG, not IE.
Yeah.
The final group will not elect the top representative. We can leave it there. Random selection will. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're okay with that? Yeah. No other
Yeah.
words? Okay. We still have a chance, by the way. So this has to be technically, if we want to be to the letter of our current set of laws, we would have this submitted to the community by before 9 a.m. this Saturday, 9 a.m. Eastern. So I'll type all this out this evening, tomorrow morning. We can have one final read through as a group. We're cool with it. Then we'll post in the Eden members chat as being like, here you go. And maybe if we do that Friday afternoon, like early Friday, that'll give them like 12 hours thereabouts for anyone to be like, holy shit, no, you wrecked it.
Yeah, that sounds good. Just a day of public comment before.
Yeah, I mean,
Uh,
this
it's
is already shared. I mean, we did share
Yeah.
it, and we've attempted to get feedback. There's been very little uptake on that, but okay. Number 3, elections shall occur. So this is a change, obviously, because this time. So elections shall occur every 3 months or may be triggered by petition of greater than 2/3 of all delegates. We don't know how exactly that's actually done, but we want to have that here in the smart contract or in the
John is going
Yeah,
to code it. John's going to make that work.
I think,
Magically.
yeah, in the future, they can make it a smart contract and someone can propose it and then people will just sign
Yeah.
it.
Okay. Number 4, the community may adopt bylaws. Should we say the Eden community? The Eden
Yeah.
on EOS
Eating
community
on EOS. Eating on EOS.
may adopt bylaws which contain all rules, processes, regulations. It should be and regulations, I suppose. And
You know, I was
regulations.
thinking the other day, we're
Yeah.
calling ourselves Eden on EOS, but there's other, like, should we be the English Eden on EOS?
Yeah. Or yeah, we the Genesis.
Because these bylaws do not pertain necessarily to the Chinese or the Korean Eden.
Yeah.
They must adopt. Genesis.
I mean, I want to have this conversation about naming, but I don't know if we want to do it right at this moment. But I frankly think that's another thing we should discuss, is like completely altering the name to be more coherent with. But I think it will require like a community referendum or something.
Do you guys like Genesis? Yeah, Lovejoy. It's
Yeah.
probably that's going to be too much. I think for the sake of this, we just want to.
Yeah, I think Genesis is fine.
I mean,
Right.
it fits the website, right? Genesis.e.
Genesis.
Or
Yeah,
maybe
it's like
a
an
simpler-
80s,
a simpler
80s
thought.
rock band.
Because it's Eden on EOS, it's already in English, so it's implied already.
There might be translations of the other versions, so then it might get confusing.
No, but if you're reading it in Chinese, then it's the Chinese Eden. If you're reading it in English, it's the English Eden.
Yeah, that's pretty true. Yeah, like there wouldn't be a.
So
I don't
let's
know.
just keep
We
it.
need to.
Yeah, Eden on EOS. Let's just keep it for now, and we'll talk about it maybe in another call.
So scrap
Right.
this then.
Yeah, scrap it.
Scrap the Genesis. I think that the naming discussion is a big discussion that the community should probably. Personally, I just like to go on record. I favor changing the name entirely and possibly rebranding, like adopting a new. If we're gonna like really do a declaration of independence and move away and take active control, then the community should decide the direction of like the name and the brand and everything. But
Maybe that's where
that's
fuck.
out of this. That's right. That's out of the scope of our current deliberations, I think.
So Brandon, then we will probably need fireworks and and everything that comes with independence, you know. So
I
maybe
can
we have
arrange
to-
that.
America.
Yeah, we got to blow some shit up in order to celebrate. Yeah.
Okay, so we're good with this. The Eden on EOS community may adopt bylaws which contain all rules, processes, and regulations that are binding on anyone who wishes to remain a member. Not on. Binding to anyone, for anyone.
I mean, I think it's fine. On, binding on, binding on. I don't know. Legal language expert.
Binding to. You bind
Binding,
to, but you don't bind
I would
on.
think you would bind to as well. Yeah, you don't bind on.
I think it should be 2.
Okay.
All right. Well, that's 3 votes for 2. I was just headed
Binding
to
towards
search.
binding to anyone who wishes to remain a member.
Is it binding on
Are you binding on, or you're
should just-
binding?
or binding?
It could be simplified. It could just be they're
To.
binding to all members. I mean, the fact this wishes part is redundant because that comes up later where you can choose to renounce your membership. I don't know. Anyway, we're getting into wordsmith territory here. Or binding to anyone who wishes to remain a member. That's fine. It's grammatically correct. Okay, A.
Oh.
What?
No, go on.
What
I'm
did you
finding like
find?
weird little.
Are you on Google?
I'll get a more definitive answer and come back to you. Keep going.
Okay, so this is the bylaws section, right? So it's talking about bylaws here, point 4. So A, the level of representation that voted in the lead representative shall be known as the chief delegates. The level of representation that voted in the lead representative. No, what is this? This doesn't make any sense.
Yeah,
is like-
because they don't vote for the.
Yeah, I think we don't even need it.
Wait. They voted in the lead.
Because here we're talking about how you pick the chief delegate and the delegates. This should not be here.
That voted.
Wait, what? What did I miss? I was looking at binding stuff.
Well, point 4 is
No,
in the bylaws.
What seems to
Um,
me that incorrect is it says the lead representative, not plural, singular. It should be lead representatives.
This could be a typo.
Delegates.
I might have done a copy paste mistake or
The
something
level
because this shouldn't even be here.
of the lead representation.
Fix
not?
it, Chris.
Hold on.
Wait,
Brandon, binding to is correct.
which
You
contains
figured it out.
Yeah.
may adopt bylaws. Oh, because so Chris, A is not about bylaws. That's what you're saying.
Yeah, exactly. So I think I've messed something up. So 4 here.
The level of
Here he had it. Yes, you see the original peace treaty when it's talking about point 4, which is bylaws. The level of representation that voted the lead representative should be known as the board. That's what we changed.
the level of representation.
But that point doesn't even have to do about bylaws.
Agreed. Totally agree. So
Let's cut it out.
yeah, is it clear already? Do we even need to say chief delegates?
No, because point 2 is all about delegates.
So we should define it maybe, the chief delegate term. Because this is
Yeah.
where that term is defined.
Right.
The value in defining that here then. So we could actually take this one and move it. So this is part of the election randomly that repeats fractally until you get a final representative. The head chief delegate was chosen
No, it should be the first sentence that it defines it.
up here.
Yeah.
Well, members are randomly organized.
But can you zoom in a little bit?
Yep.
Delegates who are the definition shall be selected by the
So
following process.
delegates.
And then parentheses and then
Or
definition. or-
comma,
Random.
who,
But this is here. I'll just paste it in here so we can read it. And it's talking about the lead representative, right? This should
oh,
be the level of representation that voted in the lead representatives shall be known as the chief delegates. That's not even really correct. It's this is a broken sentence, basically.
It's not a great sentence, no.
So let's just remove that and come up with our own way to add. We just want to define this term of chief delegates. So maybe we can squeeze it into where we've already.
Isn't it defined?
Delegates are
lower
the
down?
delegates are the people that are voted
Here we
that are
go.
voted in.
Here we do it here. Look, this is where we should.
Who are selected in at least one round
Final
in like in a round of
Yeah, yeah.
chief
the-
delegates.
the
Guys, it should go,
process.
it should go right here. Okay, so watch. This is good. CD. So here now, right? So the process shall then repeat fractally by randomly grouping the representatives approved in the previous round of elections until the final representatives, also known as chief delegates, are chosen. The head chief delegate will be selected randomly from the final group of elected chief delegates. Since we've defined it, we can just say CDs because we've already actually defined that term. E.g., the final group will not elect the top representative. Does that make sense now?
Yeah, but I still feel like we need a simple definition for what a delegate is. I
Great.
feel like that's missing.
Delegates shall be elected by the following process.
I mean, it defines it in the A,
Members,
or I guess not in A, but in
representative.
B.
So here we can call it selects a representative, or we could define, we could say here, we could, do we
Yeah,
say
there you go.
bracket
We
delegate,
should strike.
or just
just-
strike representative and put it delegate?
I think delegate should not.
Yeah,
like,
delegate.
there's no reason to have both terms in there.
Must select a delegate from their group with greater than 2/3 person vote cast. Selected representative. Selected delegate must vote for themselves.
Do you have to vote for yourself?
Yep.
Is it
Yeah.
a must?
Yeah, it's in the
Yep.
code.
Hmm.
By randomly grouping the delegates approved in the previous round of elections until the final representatives, also known as the chief delegates, are chosen. That's good to use that representatives word there, and then chief delegates.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm okay with that. You guys like that?
Yep.
Yeah.
Sure.
Less than confident, Lovejoy.
I'm still well, like I was like, wait, why did you, the final representative? Why is representatives okay there? But we took it everywhere else. I guess it makes sense though.
Well, yeah.
Because people know what a representative is, not necessarily. So it's just reinforcing the synonym for delegate.
Yeah.
And now it's just the first time it's used, so now it seems weird, whereas before. But whatever, we can go over this again maybe.
Well, we could do it. I mean, here you could say,
Yeah, like a delegate.
Right, so
to
that's
serve
why I'm
as a
saying it should be defined
representative
up
or a
top.
Representative.
right here.
Delegates or elected representatives.
Eh,
Should we just say representatives and then do bracket delegates?
yeah, I would just do it progressively rather than try to do it all at once, like as we're doing, but like representatives, like known as delegates, like something like that. Yeah. And maybe unbold representatives.
Yeah. I'll unbold it all.
Yeah, maybe like known as delegates so that we can just be done with like
Is this how the founding fathers felt?
probably they felt even worse because they were at war, but yeah.
Yeah.
I guess we're in a kind of war, which is different.
They would have been huddled around someone's, like over someone's back, writing it down.
Yeah, in the sweltering heat of like,
No, add a comma here.
Who's got the
your
whiteout?
cursive is terrible. Who's got better cursive than Franklin? Jesus.
Okay. Representatives, known as, I guess it's also known as delegates, right?
Mhm.
Shall be elected by the following process.
No, it should be hereby known as delegates.
Here.
Or yeah, something like that. Maybe not hereby, but like
Or after known.
it's like in a legal document when they say like, yeah, when this referred to as,
Or referred to as delegates. If you don't
Yeah.
like hereby known. I mean, hereby known is very founding fathers.
do whatever you want to do.
Hereafter known? Would be hereafter.
Oh God, no, not the hereafter.
I feel like hereafter works too.
What was that, Aaron?
I said hence
Yeah,
with,
that's fine.
hence within something.
Henceforth.
Yeah.
Henceforth.
Henceforth. Yes, let's do it. Henceforth. We have to do it.
Henceforth, known as
Okay.
delegates
Little Easter egg for everybody.
Yeah, exactly.
shall be elected by the following process.
There we go. That's
Oh, random.
beautiful.
I see your cursor. Members are randomly organized into
Yeah,
roughly
random.
equal size groups of 12 or fewer, where total number of groups equals population divided by average group size. Each group must, I feel it's also probably not appropriate to use the equal sign and divided by whatever. Each group must select a delegate from their group with a greater than 2/3 approval of votes cast, and the selected delegate must vote for themselves. Themselves.
Can you unselect it so it's not this murky
Randall's.
dark color?
Randall, can you can you click somewhere else so it goes away?
Oh, sorry.
Randall.
He's like
Sorry, guys.
photobombing. He's like photobombing the
Yeah.
presentation.
Okay, so the process shall then repeat fractally by randomly grouping the delegates approved in the previous round of elections. Should be the previous round of the election, because it almost sounds like the previous elections. Do you guys agree? Previous
Yeah.
Yeah.
The election.
of the election until the final representatives, also known as the chief delegates, CD, are chosen. The head chief delegate will be selected randomly from the final group of elected CDs, e.g., the final group will not elect the top representative, a random selection will. Do we call it just sortition will? Force people to look that word up?
Yeah, sure.
Well, and also we can put sortition in there so it's not redundant, because we just said selected randomly earlier in
Oh yeah, right.
the sentence.
Oops, shit. Okay, perfect.
You just wait, selected via sortition, or you want to leave random in there. That's fine.
That should not be a semicolon. There we go. Okay,
There.
happy with that. Now we go down here and we change. So this one becomes A now. So the Eden on EOS community may adopt bylaws which contain all rules, processes, and regulations that are binding to anyone who wishes to remain a member. I personally don't like that. It should be like binding to members, but whatever. The active and proposed set of bylaws are indivisible, single documents. Oh, so this isn't used to be 2 documents. So the active and proposed set of bylaws is
the active and proposed.
Yeah, no, just the set of bylaws is an indivisible.
the active and a proposed set of bylaws.
Oh wait, no, because there's still an active and proposed.
Yeah,
So we're doing a
cannot
proposed set.
provide the next set of.
Yeah,
Did
'cause we're
Dan
doing a proposed.
elaborate on that? I forget from last week if he got into his rationale for like
Yeah,
not doing. Because he didn't want to like multiply the number of possible.
it
He didn't wanna-
simplifies it so it's not some gigantic, layers and
Bureaucratic like nightmare of like
one thing.
Yeah, I guess. So active and proposed set of bylaws.
Or indivisible single documents. That's what this is supposed to be. So the active and proposed set of bylaws are indivisible single documents, e.g., the former CDs cannot provide the next set of CDs numerous options. Yeah, that's a better sentence now. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm still like wrestling with the concept, but I feel like if we made one mistake that they didn't like, it would like
That's-
tank the entire
That's the
their
problem.
their ability to adopt anything, which like I would like to see it where they could exclude but not add. Like they could exclude any particular addition or change, but not come up with, I don't know.
I say we leave it because it's simple enough. This isn't going to
Yeah, it's
be a
good.
contentious set of bylaw changes, and then the next
It'll
set,
be perfect anyway, so it's fine.
I think you're right. Okay, so that's good. So the former CDs cannot provide the next set of CDs numerous options. Okay, great. B, bylaws may only be ratified if they were proposed at least 14 days before the last election. I wrestled with that wording. Oops, I don't know what just happened there. I wrestled with that wording for a while, and I realized it's fuck off. Sorry, my language. How come I can't unbold it? Unbold.
Oh, there's something Randall's doing.
No,
Just
it's
kidding.
I'm hitting Control
Oh.
B, but it's making it's a Miro thing. So
it's better now.
it's so the bylaws may only be ratified if they were proposed at least 14 days before the last election. So that is an election has taken place. We're about to ratify them. They were proposed 14 days before the last election that just took place.
Oh,
This is
the previous election.
yeah,
I should
this
say
is
the previous election,
before the
right? The prior election.
For not capitalized.
Prior versus previous.
Yeah, which one do you like better?
I don't know. There might be a difference.
I don't see a difference.
For the prior election. Yeah, I don't know.
Well, it says
Prior has less syllables. Maybe that's better.
Sure. Prior it is.
Yeah, prior means immediately previous one, and previous means any instance in the past.
There we go.
Yep.
Prior is a better word because it's the most recent. Okay, so here we go. So bylaws may only be ratified if they are proposed at least 14 days before the prior election. Or in advance of, I would like better than before. But now we're wordsmithing, so it's not necessary.
Oh, in advance of.
Yeah, I like in advance of.
Okay, well, there we go. At least 14 days in advance of the prior election. Okay, very nice. The CDs can act inside the existing bylaws. Indeed. The CDs can propose a new set of bylaws. Indeed we shall. Vote to approve a proposal as well as ratify a proposed set of bylaws shall be approved by greater than 2/3 vote choose a greater of the CDs. Now, do we want to include the head chief? Is this this requisite of this is what used to be here? I struck it through. Do we want that? Do we want the inclusion of the head chief to make things happen?
And Aaron?
I don't like veto power. Like that's, I mean, everything else we're doing right now on this network operates off 2/3 consensus, and nobody has veto power over any of that. So why add veto power to this? Like, I'm looking for a reason to add it.
Yeah.
We're pre-optimizing.
Yeah.
We're trying to solve future problems that we don't know what they are and haven't occurred. So it's just, to simplify it, just get rid of it. My opinion.
Well, I like the irony that the head chief delegate, the current one, is against that power and so removes it. So it is.
Any objections? Beautiful. Okay, so I'll just read it one last time, make sure it makes sense. The vote to approve a proposal as well as ratify a proposed set of bylaws shall be approved by greater than 2/3 vote of the CDs.
Oh, wait. Oh, okay. Wait.
Should be a greater than.
Yeah.
Should be approved by greater than vote. A greater than vote. A vote greater than 2/3.
Yeah, not a greater than. Oh, wait. Ratified proposal bylaw should be approved by
Greater. I've ruined it.
No, just erase votes. 2/3 of the CDs.
Yeah.
By a vote greater than 2/3 of the CDs. Yeah.
Either way, I think we're being a little nitpicky here.
Yeah, wordsmithing's fun. Okay, I think that's sufficient. We'll have one more chance to read it and change anything if we really hate it. Okay, as part of the election process, the winning chief delegates will have their Eden account keys replace the previous CD active keys. A threshold of greater than 2/3 is required for account transactions. wherever possible, whenever possible, a time delay will be used on set code actions. Delay duration will be with a delay duration. Oops. Delay duration with a delay duration. No, fuck.
No.
A time delay will be used on set code actions with a delay duration.
That
With a duration.
is it clear? If
Delay
it's,
duration, that will be the period between elections. No, just that will. Oh, okay, whatever. Yeah, that's fine too.
it is the period between elections. Currently set to 3 months.
Chris,
Yo.
is it possible that we can remove, is it possible for us to remove that R and maybe put if you go up, like the Eden on EOS community may adopt bylaws which contain all rules, processes, regulations,
We deselect it. Randall.
binding to, we can remove that R so that it will make, like, it goes straight to the point, binding to anyone who wishes to remain a member.
Binding.
Can you deselect it, Randall, and I'll make the change, or you can change it.
Like
No,
this.
but that's why?
I don't even know what
It makes it a wordy sentence, because that's why
All rules and oh, I see.
Yeah.
Yep, makes sense.
click somewhere else, Randall.
He changed it. No, that's good. Okay.
Oh, we changed it? Okay.
Yeah.
Binding to anyone.
Okay.
Yeah, that's good.
Okay.
I would ask for 0.5, the word winning to be removed, because that implies that if you're not a chief delegate, you're a loser.
As part of the election process, the winning
Where
chief
is it?
delegates. Oh yeah, it doesn't need to be there. You're right. It can just be
Just selected.
the chief delegates.
Just the chief delegates.
Because we've already defined.
The chief delegates will have their,
In that sentence, I would standardize account keys and active keys. Like we're calling them two different things here.
Mhm.
It should just be account keys, or maybe even EOS account keys or something.
Well, the idea was it's their Eden account keys.
Yeah.
Do we want
All
to?
right. So
Should I put
that
like a
makes
little
sense.
quotation around, like, so it's like clear that it's like one thing, like that? Like that?
maybe even put the ending quote after account, because we're calling it's an Eden account and it has keys.
Oh yeah, okay. So like here. That one?
Yeah. And then we use the same structure for the second part of the sentence, and don't use active keys, but it's their Eden account. It's the chief delegates
Account.
quote Eden account keys.
Oops. What did I do there? Eden. So we do the same little thingy here. Eden account active keys.
No, just account. We can get rid of active. Active doesn't make any sense here.
Well, the only reason active is there, I think, is because the actual Genesis, like the actual EOS account has owner and active keys. So it was like defining the fact that it's just the active set, not the owner set.
These are different.
Maybe it's
No,
not.
but this is the chief delegate keys.
Yeah, this
it's,
isn't like, go ahead, Aaron.
I was gonna say this is talking about each, like in the next election, these are gonna be our Eden accounts
Yep.
keys.
Got it.
So, and then we'll replace those keys with the new
The
chief
new
delegate
chief
keys.
Yep.
I thought the active part was relevant in terms of the contract. Like the chief delegates have a certain place in the
We
Eden
do.
treasury.
And it's not, we don't have the active permission right now either. So
Right.
the permission we have right now is called board, I think.
Yeah,
No,
board
but-
major.
But we are, so Dan said on the call that we will get the active permissions.
In the next 2 weeks, or are the next chief delegates gonna get that?
Yeah,
Right.
and we haven't really
And
worked
then
out
we're
a
proposing
process.
for the next set of chief delegates.
Yeah, but we haven't really worked out a process for how those keys would be managed.
Yeah, and that's not part of the system now. Like we know we may be getting the quote unquote active key permission for the chief delegates, but that doesn't exist right now. And until it happens, like maybe we don't put it in the bylaws. We're not dealing with those right now.
That's
Yeah,
at
oh.
least not what this section is about.
Correct.
Yeah, Aaron, quick one, since we are talking
Mhm.
about that. So I think the IT group or the group that can make changes to the code and the smart contract quickly have to be they have to have the active keys, and then the chief delegates can have the board major keys, like we have it right now.
There's a lot of different ways to do it. I mean, that could potentially be one of them, or it could be in reverse so that the CDs have the active key and the developers who are maintaining the contract have something that is similar to active, but is not the active key.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, true.
So there's a couple ways to go about that.
Is that a separate
Yeah,
discussion for a different day, or?
I think so. I don't think it's part of this bullet point.
Yeah.
This is a very generic, like who controls the Genesis, that Eden account, essentially.
Mhm.
Right, but perhaps it should be a new number in this,
For
Number?
like number 10 or whatever, number 11.
Like another like another point.
Yeah,
discussing what the active key permission on the whole thing.
on the Treasury smart contract. Yeah.
That's what I was asking. Is this conversation for another day?
Maybe maybe it's better to leave it, since there's still a few steps that have to happen. Like
so
in
we have
terms
to
of
work out how that is
transfer,
managed.
Yeah.
so we can leave it less.
It's just the fractally team just needs to update the permissions, right?
I'd
Yeah.
say personally, it'd be nice to work out a method for how to do that, how to hold the keys and move them, the active permission rather, but I don't know if that's part of.
Lovejoy, I don't understand what kind of process this would need.
There's a debate to be had around it. I mean,
Yeah.
you could talk about how maybe it's more than just chief delegates because it's such a sensitive permission.
Oh,
Like,
in
maybe
regards to
there's a-
that. Okay.
Yeah, maybe there's a case to be made that it's like all delegates, a certain percentage of that, or maybe the past chief delegates plus the current chief delegates need to agree. Like the active key is a big permission. So
Yeah.
and maybe we just hold that debate off for now, because then we probably spend like an hour or half an hour just talking about the various ways to do that. And then write a bylaw based on it.
But
yeah.
This is a
Just
good
maybe
step.
last point about it is that Dan obviously controls those active permissions, and he
Mhm.
seemed pretty set on giving it to the chief delegate specifically. He may not agree and like for another
Actually, is the developers that are controlling that. It's Todd, Mike.
Yeah.
But Dan's their boss, so they'll just do what Dan says.
Aaron, would you be willing to be temporary custodian of active permission for
Nope.
no anyone?
Why would that be needed?
Well, who's gonna be? We don't have a process. We don't have like a way.
No,
For,
no, I'm not saying that. Not us. We're proposing a set of bylaws for the next chief delegates. So that would be the next chief delegates would have those active permissions.
how?
The fractally team will update their permissions.
They'll update these to be whatever.
So
these-
one of the chief delegates is just going to like hold the active permission in their
I think it's sick.
No, it's an MC.
Anchor wallet.
it's right here.
It's
It's
Why
this.
why is it one chief delegate? I don't understand.
So all
the chief delegates.
Yeah.
All the chief delegates will have like the same MSIG as the current. I see. That's what you're proposing?
Yes. I mean, it's not what I'm proposing. This is what Dan said.
What is written right now is generic enough to cover any account key on the account, any permission.
I see.
Let's read it again. As part of the chief delegates will happen. Replace the previous account keys. Yeah, okay, that is pretty generic, and it does imply Okay.
Great. Yeah, I guess that's vague enough.
So the only problem though is that we have different set, right? We have the developers having their active key, then we have the board major, then we have the board minor, right?
Yeah,
So if we have this one right here, then that is saying that there is no way that the developers are going to replace their keys. So how does the developers replace their keys? Are they going to replace their keys with the chief delegates and then change the keys of the board major to the chief delegates and then the board minor? I forgot who is on the board minor, but
We
think
can,
it's-
they're all the same right now, but I don't.
as we, I believe, can change the board major and the board minor without anybody's involvement.
Okay.
But there's
So
some power there, right? Like,
there
Power.
may be. I'm not, my permission foo is a little rusty.
Permission
Permission
foo.
foo. I love
Yeah,
it.
there's a lot of really weird rules when it comes to permissions, and
Yeah,
I'd have to go do some Googling to figure out how it works.
it's, yeah, what those mean.
I know that
Let's-
the numbers mean 2, but it's like that board major permission, when that rename action was added to it, it made it so that board major can't actually do anything else now.
Oh, okay. So that's cool.
Is that
So I
new?
think-
Did somebody just add that recently? Or has that always been there?
That's what we're saying. But my question is, what the hell can we do with mana? Because I feel like that's actually open-ended. But again,
Yeah.
like that, I'm not fully up to scratch with the different and I've done so much work with it. But I think that's actually a whole security that we got to address that.
Yeah.
before
Kind of hard to hear you, John.
Yeah, it's very hard to hear, John.
He basically, yeah, it sounded like it was mobile or something. But he was basically saying that there might be some security concerns with how board minor is set up right now, and we should probably address those.
Okay.
Not in the bylaws, but
Yeah, so I guess we can have the bylaws for now and maybe have a discussion later.
All right, so I suppose the next set of chief delegates will ask Dan again on this issue to get active permission.
we could also have like maybe a meeting. I just pinged him in 3D to see if he was available. But somebody that really understands the permissions really well from the faculty team.
Are
Or
we able to get
unless-
Brandon? Or Brandon will not show up?
Is Fancher even on the
Yes.
list of which one is he?
Oh, never mind.
Right.
He understands it, but isn't he more front end?
He's this guy.
Doing it right. Oh, he's doing it right. All right. I'll ask Fancher too. He's usually a little more responsive in Telegram.
And he won't do it wrong, so it's perfect. Ta-da! Okay.
All right, but I agree with Aaron that number 5 is pretty generic and that it could cover a potential change in the active keys. We could do it off the bylaws.
Yeah. It's not a great bylaw, bottom line. This one's not great. This idea of whenever possible that's ambiguity introduced, which is always not a good idea. So whatever, but we can leave it.
Yeah.
It's better than what was there, at least the intention of.
Or we could just erase the last sentence.
I mean, we have 48 hours to come up with a better paragraph that covers all key. Now that I understand, it's not as insane as I thought it was, because we can just rotate them out possibly for the new chief delegates. But we need to, oh, Fancher says he can jump on briefly.
Oh, perfect.
Should- I'll send him the link. Participants, invite. And here he is.
All right.
The man, the myth, the legend, Brandon Fancher.
Hey guys, how's it going?
Hey, Brandon, thanks for coming on.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for the kind introduction.
Um,
Commenting that you always do it right.
yeah,
we're We're talking permissions on the Genesis Eden account. And couple things, I guess, with the Genesis Eden rename action being on board major and garbage collection on garbage collection. Does that mean board minor can do everything else?
I don't think so. And that wouldn't make sense if that were the case.
I thought that's how siblings worked in a permission tree, but I'm not entirely sure.
You probably know more about the permission structure than I do, to be quite honest. But that would
Who's
also
the-
mean that so board.minor. Yeah, I don't know. We should bring in one of the contract devs, honestly, to discuss these sorts of things. Probably.
There's there's some really weird intricacies with how siblings and children and all of this plays out in the permission scheme, and it's hard to remember all those rules. It's
Right.
like a really complicated board game.
Yeah, absolutely.
Is Todd Fleming or someone else randomly available also? Otherwise, we can do this another time too. We were just going through the proposed bylaws changes and we realized we didn't know exactly how to implement some changes maybe that we maybe wanted to do.
Yeah, give me a moment here and I'll see if I can bring anybody in here.
This is
Drop the
recorded, by the
message
way.
in our
in case it-
Slack too,
What's-
asking.
What'd you say,
Cool.
Lovejoy?
This is recorded too, in case that wasn't obvious when you entered.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, no worries.
All right, do you want to just keep going through the other points while we're waiting?
Do it. Okay. Head chief delegate funding allotment will be 1.5 times what a regular chief delegate will receive. Now, is that going to be enforceable for the next election?
This is not for the next election.
Well, they're
Right,
gonna,
this is,
they're going
they'd have
to
to adapt. Yeah,
Right, they're going to ratify it and then it'll be
coded,
need to be coded for the election 3 months after April.
correct.
Okay. And okay, then on the question of do we want to then include in this language, if it's going to include some coding changes, do we want to include an idea of a separate funding pot that is used for core funding to run Eden as an organization that the CDs would have control over?
Which we discussed during the call that didn't get recorded. Like the idea of an operations. I'm just giving a little backstory in case anyone's watching this wondering where that came from. Like an operations,
I think it'd
separate
probably
operations.
Be
So
best
I
to have
think-
that
I
built
think-
first.
I think for that one, we have to really get money now to run operations. So we have to, if we have to discuss with the ENF, we have to get money coming directly from EOS savings to another account so that we can use that for the overhead.
The other issue with this idea is what we've talked about it at length. A shared account by a set of chief delegates may need like legal work done. So I feel like we're kind of back to square one in that regard.
And honestly, when the active keys get to the CDs, they have a shared budget. It's the Eden account because they're going to have control over the whole thing.
It's kind of
No,
true.
but it's not the owner keys.
That doesn't matter. Active can do everything that owner can. The only thing that owner can do is reset active. It's like a break in case of emergency key. That's its only function.
Yeah, but I believe it's legally different from owning an account.
Not from a legal perspective. I'm talking purely from an operational standpoint that
Right, I
development
understand.
may not be needed for this because if the chief delegates have the active key, they can use the account as its treasury and no code is needed. It would just be
Sure.
in the bylaws as to how they operate. And if they
So
disobey the bylaws, then
Are you implying, Aaron, that they would take from the treasury like a certain
like
allotment
that.
defined by the bylaws?
I don't like that, Aaron, because the
I'm
reason why-
not, it's not a proposal. It's just that I'm stating we don't need development to make this feature a reality. Like,
We just
I'm
need
not
a-
saying it's a good thing or a bad thing. I'm just
Yeah.
just to put a point on that.
Or maybe if you have the active permissions, you can set up a sub account to receive, like just with the standard kind of user interface of ESIO accounts. The active can set up a new account to receive development funds for Eden. Like a child account. That's what it's called, right? Child account.
It was just another account.
Um,
But these are things that I don't think we're proposing right now. I
Right,
mean, we
it's
could
just a note.
propose the creation of a new pool that we could define like a percentage of and how it's used. And like, there's a lot, we'd be creating new bylaws essentially, which do we want to get into that?
We can leave it.
I think that would be good. That would be great. So that the treasury itself is for elections, and we just have something just for running like
Yeah, but Randall, where's the funding coming from in this separate account?
we will ask for it.
So, but
Oh,
it
so
won't be
it's
us.
straight from the ENF.
Yeah.
So we don't have to actually cover it then, because the
Right.
next
So then exactly.
would ask that question. They can pre-draft the bylaw for the ENF to look at and say, look, here's the new proposed bylaw. It's going to be this. Can you fund it for us now, please?
Yeah, we can do that too.
And if we went through with this and talked about this right now, we'd also have to go back and change 5 at the top, because now we're talking about changing keys on multiple accounts. And like, there's a whole bunch of other process thing we would have to define to really flesh out the idea of some kind of shared budget. So there's a lot to it is all I'm saying.
Let's leave it. I'm voting for just leave it as is then.
Yeah, same.
we can
It's a good
we
idea,
can do
though.
we can do a set of recommendations that come along with this, like recommendations for bylaws that we weren't able to really articulate
Or
for
yeah, or for
future
future
considerations.
bylaws. Yeah.
Down here.
Yeah, so add
Oh.
that to the recommendations. I think it's a good idea as well. Should be added to the recommendations.
Establish a separate pool of operations funding or something. My God, we can see John now. He's really here.
Yeah.
Okay.
You finally woke up.
So let's leave it. Number 7, membership is voluntary. Members may leave at any time by giving notice. I noticed recently.
They have to give notice? They don't
Well,
have to give notice?
Sudip did recently, and he used an action. So maybe we could throw in that actual contract action in here by giving notice and executing the whatever it is action.
Yeah, I think anyone can
Specify.
resign at any time. They don't have to give notice. Right?
Yeah, I agree
Let's
with
say
Randall.
you have like, I'm just trying to be a little extreme here, but if we have 10,000 members, you can leave at any time if you want.
Well, it is kind of nice to give notice, like for the community to know, like
Does anyone
rather than
remember
somebody
what that
just
action was?
ghosting.
Let's see.
Well, I think Brandon Fancher would know.
Okay, so I came back. I was unable to get, I think because the end of the day is nearing here, I was unable to get anybody, but let's put a pin in it and try to regroup tomorrow on the topic of permissions and the intricacies there, if that's okay.
Cool.
And then was there another question?
How do
Yes.
you leave Eden? Do you recall the contract, the execution command to remove your account? Sudip just did it recently, but I'm trying to find it.
Yeah, one sec here. I'll tell you what it is.
I worked so
I think it was
hard
like
to get
resign
Sudeep
or
into Eden.
something.
Resign action. Yeah, it's
Yep,
called resign.
resign. There it is.
Does that require the authorization of the person resigning, or can Genesis.Eden, the contract self do it as well? Do you know, Fancher?
I think that's an action that the end user, the member, has to take.
Okay, so there's no other opportunity to boot someone in today's contract?
I don't think so, but let's put a pin in that one as well, and ask the contract developers there tomorrow.
Cool.
Yeah, I don't want to misspeak with certainty.
Do you know about what time anyone might be available tomorrow? Has anyone said, or just kind of like circle
No,
back?
I can't. Yeah, I can't even reach them right now. So
Okay, just try
yeah,
to
if you
find
want to
some.
hit me up like when you're around in the morning, and then we can get something set up.
We can see who we can manage to get on a call, but it's not. We will probably won't have everybody, but we can always do some async communication.
Yeah, yeah. Might even be something we can set up a Telegram chat on with everybody.
That'd be good too.
Ooh, bylaw ratify. There's a bylaw propose, bylaw approve.
Oh my God. Do we have to like
We want to do that one.
proposer, bylaw, string,
So is that like that, the hash?
get J?
It's probably just an arbitrary string. So it's either text or a hash. A hash would probably be the way to go.
Okay.
I'm gonna drop off here, guys. I'm sorry I couldn't be of more immediate assistance to you all.
No,
Thanks
thanks
for your time.
for dropping in, Fancher.
You did it kind of.
Yeah. I did a what?
We just want
You did it kind of right.
Yeah.
we just wanted to
Election
see you.
coming up April 9th. Oh, thank you. It's good to see all you guys. Yeah. Election coming up April 9th. I know that, are you guys planning on emceeing, or who's going to MC the day of?
I don't know. Like we were kind of wondering the same thing. I think.
Yeah.
I thought Dan said that Fractally would help out with the next election, and then that'll be it, kind of thing.
Yeah, so I think we can help out with the day of, but I don't think we're planning on emceeing. That's the last I had heard discussed there. So,
I mean, okay.
like,
Well, I can
we'll want to
help out.
retest the election flows just to make sure that no changes have messed that up, so we can work on scheduling that on our end.
Let's start a Telegram group
Yeah.
and discuss like how to do it, because I can help out and I'm sure other people can help out too, and we'll
Yeah.
make sure it gets done.
Yeah, we'll coordinate either way.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Maybe Zach. Zach can also help. No, he's a good MC. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
We'll see who wants to jump in.
All right, great.
Thank
All
you,
right,
Brandon.
well, I'll leave you guys with that.
Thanks, Brandon.
In touch.
Good to see you.
All right,
Bye.
no problem. Bye.
I'm getting kicked out of this cafe in 12 minutes, so I'll have to switch to phone and be on the move, but carry on.
Okay. Okay, so we're good on membership is voluntary. Members may leave at any time by executing the resign contract action. All new members must be invited by 3 existing members on video, and new members must read and agree to the peace treaty, which doesn't exist anymore, right? Because this is going to be the bylaws now.
Right, the bylaws.
And agree to the bylaws and agree to follow the community bylaws. As
No,
enacted
and agree to follow community bylaws at race.
Let's read and agree.
So the second and agree, it can be erased, I feel like. The whole thing, to follow community bylaws.
Can be like that.
Yeah,
Read and agree to the bylaws as enacted by the representative leaders.
by the chief delegates.
Exactly. Okay. Must read and agree to the bylaws. Oh, no, they don't have to read the bylaws. Oh, I guess so.
Yes, they do.
On video, and the new members must read and agree. Oh, yeah, I guess you're right. Yeah, okay. They have to read and agree to the bylaws. I mean, technically, they just have to agree to them. They don't really have to read them.
Right.
They should, though. Okay.
So what happened with bylaws and peace treaty? Are they gonna be
Yeah.
No more peace treaty. There's
No more
just
peace
one
treaty.
thing called the bylaws,
okay? Got it.
because we've removed it everywhere else. Yeah. Okay. Each member will pay 3 EOS, a 3 EOS due to join the community. Is that the right term?
Yeah, just we'll pay 3 EOS to join the community.
It's a fee.
Oh,
Whatever.
or will pay 3 EOS. Yeah, okay. Less words is better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Each member will pay 3 EOS to join the community. All right.
And then 10 is no longer relevant.
People don't realize how bullish number 9 is.
It's going to pump. Okay. Yeah. So do we all agree on this one? We're pulling Dan's power.
Yeah, I think Dan gave his power away.
Yeah, he already gave it away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Stick a fork in it. Yep.
9. Lucky number.
Yeah. Seriously.
And then
So
we have
I have a sticky note below. I remember, the big yellow one below. Yeah, that one. I remember during the call that Dan had suggested that the chief delegates in this early period of rapid iteration should be able to activate the set code without waiting for the next election. I don't know what we think about that.
well, we have it so that they can.
Where
We've just added the ambiguity about wherever possible right here. So account transactions include set code, except we said whenever possible, a time delay will be used on set code actions with a delay duration that is the period between elections, currently set to 3 months.
wait, we'll have an earning account replace.
Oh shoot, I'm recording on my.
We'll have their earning account replace.
We're gonna need your backup recording, Jesse. You got it going?
Yeah, I got it. Time table. Man, that is very vague.
With it, so you could, if you removed whenever possible, that's the vague part, but you could just, a time delay will be used on set code actions with a delay duration that is the period between elections, currently set to 3 months.
Hold on, but that can just be a set code. We don't have to put that in the bylaws, right? Do we have to put that in the bylaws?
I don't know. I guess we don't have
No,
to.
it's just, so the rationale is if there's some sort of development that needs to be done, like a new issue that comes up, instead of waiting for the next election, it could be solved right away.
Exactly. But if it's a change code that isn't an urgent issue and it's just something they want to make done, then there should be an opportunity for the next set of chief delegates to not allow it to happen.
Right. So it's very subjective.
It's similar to
we
the
might be able to do
ratified bylaws.
two permissions with it as well. Like one has a timed permission of 30 days or whatever, and then one has like a 2-hour delay or something like that. And then it's still like based on a trust model. But if they do, contract changes that aren't, bug related, in the emergency thing, then that can be seen as a sign of corruption, by the broader community, and then they can act or, do what they want after that. That could be a potential solution.
Okay, that sounds reasonable.
I feel like these 2 points are very unrelated. One of them is changing the keys, and the other one is kind of doing things. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Is set code, Aaron, changing keys? Yes.
No,
Oh, no.
no, it's changing the contract.
Right. So, Aaron, what do you think about being able to change the contract in 2 hours versus waiting for the next election?
It might be good for some things, like changing the contract is what enabled account recovery, for example. Like, do you
Right.
want to? I
So
don't
should
know.
we put that as a bylaw?
I
Oh,
think
it's already.
I-
in,
We
you're
should
saying.
put that as a bylaw.
I would also say that whenever possible, a 3-month delay should be used on all transactions that need to be ratified. It might go beyond set code. Maybe it's funding the second account with a budget, or setting something else besides the contract. Like there are, I don't know, it's a very specific clause, and I think that a time delay should apply to more than just set code
Yeah, I agree.
All actions.
when possible. Yeah, all possible, or because we don't want to lock people out from fixing bugs.
That's hence the whenever possible bit.
Yeah. Yeah. And time delay will be used on all actions with a delay that makes the transaction only valid for the next delegates. 3 months is what I'm taking issue with right now, because imagine we did this today and then the next chief delegates had to wait for 2 weeks before their next election to be able to execute it. Like they should be able to execute that sooner, I would think.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point.
So really, I think what we're trying to capture is that like if we were going to do it now and we fit in this category of wanting to time delay it to the next chief delegates, we could do like 21 days, and then that gives the new chief delegates a week, like into their term before they can approve it. So like if we wouldn't have to go 3 months to achieve the same goal. It's kind of, there's an arbitrary number that's not always 3 months that still meets the criteria. Maybe we could just say whenever possible, all actions should be delayed to be approved by the next set of chief delegates. Like,
Yeah, that makes
not
sense.
even. It's probably bad English that I just spoke, but
No, it wasn't. No, I don't think
Well,
so.
we can't do all actions because one action is going to be, renaming accounts. Like, should we wait several months before we can rename Randall's account?
when applicable. I
We
don't.
got to give them.
No, but that's why,
some
John,
kind of
that's why it
help.
says whenever possible.
Yeah.
Yeah, but whenever possible, shit. That's just so.
Yeah,
mean,
that's
anything.
great.
Very ambiguous. Yep.
Which implies that you can do an action whenever you want.
Whenever an action needs to be ratified by the next chief delegates.
Well,
Yeah,
time delay will be
we can do the time delay on the active mission. We can leave board.major as is, which has already got the link off lockdown to the rename action, in which case I won't need a time delay. So there's that. Well, unless you want to put like a 1 day time delay on it. That way the community can be like, what the hell is this? And, the original owner can say, hey, I don't even want this renamed, this is dodgy. You could do that.
yeah, because account recovery is an action, right? Like you were saying, John. So
Yep.
there are a couple of people that probably need the accounts back. So
That's why we don't say all actions. It says whenever possible. And maybe whenever possible needs to be changed to be more precise. Because nobody's saying we should wait 3 months to recover somebody's account, or that the next chief delegates have to recover someone's account. It's just that if the action being taken requires it to be ratified, then a time delay should be used.
What about when appropriate?
Yeah,
I don't.
that's what I said like
Well,
5 minutes
shouldn't
ago.
we? Why are we being so open-ended for the next CDs? Do we not have that strong of opinions on how this should be done ourselves?
No, yes, because it's very difficult to predict future problems and what can come up.
yeah, because we can be running the elections and something can happen. Because remember, the first elections, we had a problem with people not being able to upload their videos. So we needed a week to come up with a fix, right? So in all honesty, the code has not even been used flawlessly for an election yet, right? And there's a lot of changes that has happened. So we never know how the code is going to act during this second election. So there might be changes that we have to make right after the election.
I'm good
Sorry,
with that.
I would say we could come up with some creative ideas for how the active permission can be created, and then per use case, we can create additional permissions locked down to certain actions as to how sensitive each of them are. But yeah, there is one idea of allowing active people, or the active permission, not just to be the chief delegates, but also, several delegates or previous chief delegates or something. That way the rug pulls can't be done purely by the chief delegates.
Yeah.
It's good ideas, but I feel like it's a bit out of scope of our call right now.
Yeah, I like that idea though, John.
Well, we only got so much time to come up with it, and then it's, the cat's out of the bag, and we'll just have to trust that, the chief delegates don't do any sort of rug pull or something there.
But again,
Well,
I think Chris brought up this point that we're testing this system, and if there is a rug pull, then there's a failure in the system, and it should be tested.
There's no rug pull prevention in any of this, and nor are we going to come up with that, because if we're talking about the ability for chief delegates to set code, then whatever we define, they're going to be able to change the contract anyways and pull it. Like,
unless we mandate in the bylaws that us 6 will always have keys to the
then what if we rug pull it?
We never will.
All right.
That's how
That's true.
I'm obviously kidding.
well, one possible way is to make give the community ultimate a 2/3 +1 veto over any transfer of if the active keys are used to a time delay where the community essentially could veto some action of the chief delegates if they all said, hey, wait, what the hell? But that's also beyond the scope of our.
Yeah.
I don't even know if that's
We gotta trust
possible.
the system. That's the whole point.
And maybe that's not possible, but so what can we do today, and what do we need to leave as a recommendation for future administration?
Well, what do you think of this wording now then, though? When appropriate, so that's a slight change, and that's ambiguous, we understand that, but whatever. When appropriate, a time delay will be used on all account actions with a delay duration that ensures the next set of chief delegates have a 7-day opportunity to revoke the transaction. So that, what do you guys think?
I don't think a next set is needed, just the set of the chief delegates.
It needs to be the ones who, it's like the next
group.
this is the next elected. So maybe the next set is ambiguous. It should be the next set
I see.
of elected CDs. I think the idea of having some sort of date in here is required, because I mean, they could be really cheeky and just give them 30 seconds after right after the election ends.
Why don't we make it so specific that it has to be bylaws?
Huh?
We have to make it specific that it has to be, let's say, a bylaw change, right? And then if there is anything that is not a bylaw, but it's a bug, then we have the ability to fix that.
Bylaws aren't even part of the smart contract, though.
This is just contract stuff, dude. This is just this is the point about the account keys and then how those account keys are able to be used.
Oh, okay.
Not the bylaws so much. So it's defining that as part of the election process, the chief delegates will have their account keys replace the previous chief delegate Eden account keys. That's clear. And then how they're used. A threshold of greater 2/3 is required for all account transactions. So that just sort of maintains, that'll be in the code and hard to change. And then this other part is adding the time delay, which is tricky because there's some ambiguity here, and why would they need to, and maybe they don't. And I don't think we're going to define that clearly at this point. So having this ambiguity is probably sufficient to at least have the intention there, and we'll leave it to the next CDs to try to adhere to that or not.
All right. Are we done?
I don't know. You guys agree? Does that make, is this
You
work?
want to use the word veto or revoke? Revoke is okay. Or veto.
What would you call it in?
I don't know. I'm just throwing it out there. Revoke is okay. Yeah.
Sure. Or
What do you-
reject.
Reject.
Oh, reject. Yeah. What's a better coding term? What would you say if you're, yeah, reject?
Yeah, reject the transaction.
Yeah, I don't know what the actual term is for that.
Cancel.
Yeah, that maybe.
All right.
I've been wanting to use the word
Word
eject
shipping.
again.
Um, could I share my screen for a second?
Oh, Chris, cancel. You put 2 L's.
It's just 1L.
Oh yeah. Sorry. Thank you.
Oh, do I have
The
permission?
British.
Oh yeah, I do. Oh wait, I'm not really ready for this. It's okay.
Oh, that's
What-
cool.
Oh. Fancy,
So this is from
fancy.
Chuck. And
Was he saying we're all robots?
Yeah, I thought part of this was being like, you know, for the people, by the people kind of thing, and we're represented by robots.
For the robots, by the robots.
It's real
I
easy
will-
for robots to come to consensus.
It's hard to 3D. It's hard to 3D model humans in Blender without making them look like robots, probably. But yeah,
Jokes
We could-
aside, though, like having materials like this will be good. Like we need some media to push out. I'm assuming that's what the point of this was.
yes. Do we want to ask him to just take out the humanoids?
Well, I think if we're gonna go in on branding, it's got to be somewhat consistent. If it's just all over the place and I don't know, design what you feel like, then there's no consistency, and that might not be good in the long term.
Do you feel like why do you feel like this is all over the place and not consistent?
Well, we've never had robots represent us before. If we go to the current Fractally side, it's, you know, colors and people and stuff like that. Suddenly we've got robots. Is it going to be cats next?
you mean the
Could be.
Eden site?
If they're
Oh, yeah,
articulate.
this is different from Fractally.
And this
Yeah,
He
isn't
well,
meant, he meant,
official
he meant
either,
Eden.
is it?
He meant Eden site.
Yeah, Eden.
Oh.
We have an Eden website, don't we? Yeah,
Yes.
Yeah.
like
Well,
a robots I've seen there.
What's
This
the
is the
context?
first time that we've ever seen robots and as part of, you know, Eden on EOS, you know, Fractally. Maybe Eden on
So
EOS.
maybe we
you
can
know,
replace
marketing.
the robots with like voting images.
Is this okay? First
Something-
of all, what is this?
This okay.
Because if this is just something Chuck's
Is that a-
doing and gonna promote, like why do we even care? You know, like the community might make one with cats. The community might make one
Right.
with anything else.
I just
and-
thought you guys might want to look at it. That's all.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
cool.
it's cool.
Go Chuck.
I like
Yeah.
it.
I'm not like yeah. If
But
Chuck
he
wants
asked me for
feedback,
feedback. So
yeah, if Chuck
Yeah,
wants
yeah.
feedback, I would say, yeah, it could be a little more human vibe instead of
all
robot.
right.
Like
So
I'm
I'll
with
tell
John
him
on
that and see what he says.
but
yeah,
yeah,
when, it,
other,
when we're talking about
otherwise,
like
Or I'm sure Chuck is
branding.
watching this, so I don't need to tell you, Chuck, because you're watching it.
cats
I love
and
it,
cats
Chuck.
and humans,
Yeah.
cats and humans, Chuck, cats and
Different
humans.
kinds of cats.
Yeah, calico and Russian blues and Siamese.
Nyan cat or whatever that is.
Yeah, put some Nyan cat in there.
I think
That's cool though.
so. I think we're good, right? Bylaws wise, I think we're happy. The recommendations we can keep working on because that's not included in the bylaws, so we can kind of keep plugging away at that over the next.
Right,
couple
that
of
could be just a living document.
Yeah, and we can.
Yeah.
Something we'll hand over at the end. We got 2 more weeks for that.
Stuff we didn't get to, but maybe you should.
Okay.
All right, congrats, guys. We made the deadline.
Main bylaws.
Oh, I think there was one thing that we had to discuss, right? Are we going to reach out to ENF to ask for 250,000 for the next election, or we will leave the treasury the way it is?
I thought the only thing we had talked about was topping it up, not doubling it.
Yeah, topping it up. That's what I meant, to a max of 250.
Oh, okay. That's
Yeah.
that's completely different. I don't know. Are we?
I don't know.
Asking.
Well, they're watching now, so
It's true. It's true. That would mean that the next chief delegates would have gotten budgets in equal EOS amounts as we have over the
Yeah.
course of ours, because that 5% would have been the same 5%.
Yeah.
So
I think that's very reasonable.
All right, ENF.
I think we should probably send them a written request, make it more official. I can, me or Randall can write it up, and we can all sign it. Maybe just put our name, like this is coming from all of us. Just make it a little bit more official.
Yeah.
Could come from the Twitter, like a demand.
Which one?
That'll be a
Eden
talent.
Anios. That's the one we have. That I have managerial access to Eden Anios at Eden Anios.
Did you guys, did we discuss a change to the percent? The monthly
Nope.
percentage
No, we did not.
at all?
Mm.
Okay. Was that something we wanted to propose or discuss?
No.
That's a set code thing, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, so Zach, if you're watching this, we are looking for an MC for the next Eden election. If you wanna drop by, maybe hopefully you can work with Brandon Fancher, and he can show you a little bit of things, and you can help us with running the election. That would be awesome. What else?
He might be participating though, so we'll have to check.
Oh, he's gonna participate.
I don't know. I'm saying might be participating.
Oh, okay.
Um,
Yeah. Or anyone who wants to do this, who wants to help run the elections, be an MC. Dominique, I think he wants to be an MC. So.
And I already offered to Randall. So
Oh, sorry.
there's
Sorry,
that. There's that as well.
Yes.
But
Sorry.
That's
we
what
could get
Randall thinks
multiple
of your
people.
MCing. That's right.
It'd be, yeah, no, it's fine. But we could get multiple people for sure. Like, it'd be helpful
Yeah.
to have lots of people
Definitely.
in.
So Brandon, maybe if you want to do this, then maybe you might want to reach out to the community, and those who are going to forget, maybe we can get like their emails and we can send them reminders or notifications. We don't mind doing that from support. Send them messages or something to remind them so that they don't forget. I don't know. That would be a good thing.
You mean like just promoting the election itself?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely. I was planning on recording a video, putting it out there, and then we can. Yeah, it's gonna take a like I'm sure the bees are gonna have to get involved, and we're gonna have to get the word out to everybody we can in the short amount of time that we have left. Let me know if it gets too loud. I'm driving now.
The whatever piece of content that's coming out, so the tweet with whatever Chuck's final image, or if we do, I think we talked about it before, the recording, like a group kind of motivational message from us six that maybe we'll talk about next week. Those types of piece of content, I'll do a paid swarm, and we get all my bees to push it out there.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome.
Yep. What else? I think that's about it, right?
Yeah, I think Lovejoy is too preoccupied to.
Pools.
No, I pulled over. I'm not driving anymore. I can talk.
Oh, do you want to send us home?
Oh, that's what you meant. Yeah, don't drive and Zoom at the same time. That's terrible. Let's see here.
The best one.
Gosh, what have I not said that I already have committed to memory? Shit.
Well, maybe. So we're recording this. Pomelo has started. Your opportunity to submit your grant for Pomelo is live right now, and so just want to thank the Pomelo team which I'm sure will be another great season. And I want to wish everyone in the community best of luck if you're doing a Pomelo grant. And we will see you guys next week. Thanks for watching.
Alrighty.
Next week. Ciao.